everyone. We're at Future Terminal Expo here in Long Beach, California, and I'm joined here by Cobb, who is Chief Innovation Officer of CVG Airport. So Brian, thank you so much for joining me today.
Likewise, always a pleasure, Holly.
So firstly, what is the most interesting challenge you are working on right now?
I think the challenge, not only right now, but ahead of us, is what's the future require for power? How much power do we need at an airport facility? Really thinking, and I think you've heard the conversation before, us viewing an airport as a micro city. So what does that look like as far as power resources and requirements from big energy? What do we see on the, not only now, but the road ahead? If you just add to that passenger EV adoption, we're quite a large cargo airport. So from two major operators, from DHL and Amazon Air, as their lorries or cargo trucks perhaps transition into hybrid or electric, 100% electric, what does that demand curve look like? And then of course we all hear about advanced air mobility, the future power used on those aircraft. Could be hybrid, could be electric. What's that power demand look like? So again, power.
Okay, interesting future ahead then. So what recent innovation are you most proud of and why?
The audience doesn't know, but we were just talking about an American Sign Language and British Sign Language technology out of the UK from Synapse, wonderful startup. And essentially what they're doing, first airport to actually deploy this, it's AI generated sign language. So you see an image of an individual that's signing what they're hearing over the PA system. So why is that important to us? There's a segment of the population that doesn't enjoy travel like we do. And that's disappointing. Then we throw on top, as colleagues, we know the anxiety that comes along with air travel. So how do we help continue to embrace and bring in mainstream individuals that have disabilities? I don't know that we're always focused on that. Sometimes we take the easier answer of, is that really necessary? Is that a large demographic? But we really do have to recognize that for every one traveler, there's likely two or three more, either family members, caregivers, that are looking for our assistance to really help them in the future.
Sounds like a really great innovation, so look forward to seeing more about that. Now, has there been an innovation recently which did not perform as you thought it would and may have led to you abandoning it?
Sure. I think for those that know us, one was a fully autonomous concession delivery bot. Love the company, love the team. They're continuing in operation today, just not at our airport. And what went wrong? So we chased after that years ago and went to the marketplace, found the big name players. Frankly, no one wanted to do that inside an airport because of the concrete bunker environment. They navigate on GPS. We found one that navigates with LiDAR. So we love LiDAR for a tremendous number of reasons. But bottom line is they were engineers that designed a bot that worked flawlessly. The downside was they didn't have a point of sale program or software app, what have you, where it was solid enough where the customer could use that and have the interface to actually purchase the items. We originally just thought that it would be easy to show up with the bot, work with one of the major concessionaires to say, here's the bot, here's the delivery mechanism, bring your point of sale solution. That didn't play out that way. So we ended up having some engineers that design bots, design a POS that frankly struggled. So we just didn't want to put our concessionaire friends in a position where they were not collecting the revenue in a timely fashion, or frankly, just other basic interfaces that there are other companies that do point of sale exceptionally well. Let's know where we play in our space. The learning exercise from that is, let's learn who plays in what space and frankly create partnerships across relationships. And just real quickly, super proud of Synapse, what we were just talking about before, of working with another company called Art of Context. So they sell FIDs, bids, GIDs, etc. So that's a perfect relationship with, an AI sign language solution to actually visibly be displayed. So that's the medium transition. And Art of Context that has relationships with the airports already. So I'd like to think on the back end that I'll actually help airports like us and other colleagues. If they have a relationship with one, they can go into an easier relationship through procurement on another. And I think we struggle on procurement sometimes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your transparency with that. Now, CVG recently started trialing an autonomous auto dolly bag tug. What was the result of the trial and what are the efficiency savings?
So not completely underway yet. So Arrigo has partnered with IAG, British Airways, Jobs Ohio. So super proud of that relationship. In recognizing CVG has been down this road before with this technology. We were very successful with it, so let's try it again. Right now, they're in the mapping phase. And sometimes we forget, again, from a colleague perspective, remember there's a mapping phase if you go autonomous before you ever launch it out into the public sector or actually use case. So yeah, do your due diligence, make sure that we're ready. And that's what Arrigo is doing. Phenomenal job, all the way to the point where their solution is also software oriented, where we can start looking at really a digital twin of the airport. Remember, those pieces of equipment have LiDAR on them. So they're constantly ingesting data about what's happening in your ecosystem. Take that one step further where we started the conversation with power. So now we can start translating, if this is our ecosystem, this is our digital twin, what's the model look like for autonomous delivery units? What's their power requirement? And we can start scaling. So help paint the picture basically for our airline tenants. Are we better to maybe pool equipment or does everyone go off and buy their own? Which I think financially, it probably leans towards pooling as long as it's effective.
Yeah, it's an interesting challenge for sure. Now, how do CVG employees work alongside robots in the airport?
So our environmental services housekeeping team, cannot give enough accolades to them. They have embraced technology quite rapidly, and they're also the ones that are most candid and transparent to say it doesn't work. So we have learned, and typically I'll share in conferences, it's not always the positive. We have to share amongst us things that don't work, so we're not constantly reinventing the wheel. And that's frankly been a kind of a recurring theme that I've had with colleagues since I've been here.
Yeah.
Stop reinventing the wheel. Let's find the work groups that really are going to value this is going to help my job in the future. And ultimately, I would say, how do we start upskilling labor? So your job might be this today. How does it become this tomorrow in a broader, grander scale that we're actually starting to evaluate pay structure, what have you? Because we're going to need robotic technicians and not necessarily individuals that clean restrooms.
Absolutely. Now, CVG has employed a number of robots in its terminals for many years now. Can you give us a quick recce of your lineup of robot employees?
On the robot side of the house, AvidBots was our first. Very proud to be the North American launch customer for that unit. Have supported other airports in researching, have supported the company in really scaling their product and really starting to evaluate what is the future of their technology. Autonomy that we talked about before, that was the concession delivery bot. They continue to do quite well outside of the airport, so they need some work on the point of sale piece before they come back. Yeah, any number, frankly, and we're just about to go out for an RFP for additional environmental services cleaning units. Of course, the longer term, we really would like to bring back automated wheelchairs. We were the first to actually introduce Will to the ecosystem, so super proud of that. It just wasn't ready for show. Now you look at certainly where Will is at, AlbaBots is at, super intrigued by Alba. So yeah, there's any number of solutions that are really ready to start scaling.
And you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but has there been any tweak in the training of new CVG Airport employees who have to work with these kind of new technologies?
Yeah, 100%. And we're not done by any stretch. So absolutely, it's really appreciating what that device is capable of doing. And frankly, I think that's where our environmental services teams predominantly have understood it and now get it. All the way to the point where our field employees that are responsible for ground maintenance, grass cutting, et cetera, they start to recognize, okay, so we have seasonal employees that come into the airport space. That's becoming more challenging on the labor side. Do we start looking at bots to actually help reduce the workload? And think about it, bots you can send out more frequently than sometimes staff. So you're maximizing efficiency.
They don't need lunch breaks.
No, they don't. They don't. They need recharging breaks, but I think it's a longer period than typically a lunch break. So yeah, and then let's not forget the data piece that comes from this technology. Sometimes it's hard to extract from the individual employees, what did you experience today? Do we take the time to do that? We should, but we don't always do that. So a bot actually is pulling a tremendous amount of data, just like that LiDAR data that I was talking about before. So.
And I mean, do you have any top tips for change management for other innovation managers looking to introduce these kind of new technologies?
Well, you said the key words, and that is, I don't really care for the term innovation because it means so many things to so many different people. And very quickly, those with an innovation title sometimes get labeled, whereas it's more about change management. It is finding a solution that's going to improve your product or your brand over what it did yesterday. So if it can accelerate the brand, create a better financial strategy, just imagine all of the technology that we hear today at not only this conference, but others, where how are we partnering with our tenants to recognize if I can save our airline tenants fuel, which is one of their highest driving costs, then does that actually attract those airlines to fly with our brand, our airport, as opposed to competing airports? So how are we embracing technology to really, again, make sure that we're resilient and brand strategy?
Brian, that was my final question. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Holly. Pleasure to be with you.